Welcome back to another Kicking Tables. Today we are delighted to welcome Gamebrewer's very own Pixie Peddler, otherwise known as Marketing Director, but who doesn't want a cool name like that? And we're going to be talking about the upcoming Rulebenders coming very soon to Kickstarter. Amanda, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me on your show.
You're very welcome to be here, and I'm excited about Rule Benders. It's got a very unique concept to it, but I don't want to talk about it. I want you to talk about it. So tell us, what is Rule Benders?
Right? So Rulebenders is a theme traveling game. So it's not a time traveling game, though the themes are at different points in history,
Okay.
perhaps. And the game as is, and it will be on Kickstarter, is going to come with six, maybe seven themes. And you play with four at any given time.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
throughout the game, you are allowed to play down cards from the main generic Flexo deck. That's what we're calling it. It's a
Okay.
little uh, creature in the game. And then you have rules that dictate when you can or cannot play cards that will be from the different theme decks. So the example themes are fantasy,
Love it.
prehistory, so dinosaurs,
Okay.
cavemen, ice ages, sci-fi,
Okay.
so science fiction,
Yeah.
and Arabian Nights or
Oh, wow.
Arabian Tales.
Okay.
And so we've got some everything from belly dancers to whirling dervishes,
Nice.
and and of course, I'm just going to have a complete blank, despite taking a million notes
I know
before on the show.
you've been working hard on everything surrounding it. I mean, I've been privy to the fact that the rule book is still being fixed and written right now. Tico and I, we're gonna have our review out soon. But yeah, it's like I know there's a lot to remember, and you've been hard at work on this. Like, what's a basic round of gameplay look like in Rule Benders?
Yeah, so you have some cubes, and you have cards, and you have the currency. I shouldn't say that. Points,
Boy, okay.
which are called chips.
Okay.
And the currency of the game could possibly be cubes, chips, or cards. And the
Okay.
chips, well, are points at the end of the game. The idea is to, on your turn, either play a card, paying the price and doing the action,
Okay.
or placing out a cube to go on one of the rule panels, which are surrounding the different theme deck holders, and place your cubes out in order to start to gain area control of each of the different panels, because when you control a panel at the end of the round, you'll be able to change the rule that is associated with that panel. And there are
Oh.
seven different panels. So the actions on the card might change some of what's happening out on those panels, but you really do one or the other. You're putting out a cube or you're playing down a card. But ultimately, you're trying to gather chips to get the most points to win the game. But you might want to play down a card, and currently the currency is chips, so you have to pay out points in order to even just be able to play down a card.
Right.
And
Okay.
so the balance between those three things and gaining the right to change the rules maybe in your favor and against other people definitely impact the gameplay.
So changing the rules, it's got a very like the idea of changing the rules and the rules constantly changing. It's a very like Flux style a game. You know, Flux is literally the rules are never the same when you play it. What kind of rule changes are you making as you're playing these cards?
Yeah, there's definitely been some comparisons to Flux as well as the smash up with like the different themes,
Hmm.
but
Okay. Yeah.
we definitely wanted to have kind of a more Eurogame strategy feel mixed in with that a little
Right.
bit. So the rules that you are bending are theme. So the cards that you can play out, you might have it so that nobody can play anything except generic cards,
Okay.
or perhaps everybody can play the current theme as well as the theme directly across from it on the board, or the ones beside it. It's in a circle.
Yes.
And, or of course, the best one, which is to play all the theme. You can also adjust it for yourself. So even if the rule for everyone on the table is to play just the current theme plus the one across, I might have gained majority there in the past and been able to move my evolution marker up. And now I am allowed to add in the theme from across the way instead. So there's different ways for you to impact the rules. Other ones that you can change include how many cards you're allowed to draw, how many cards you're allowed to have in your hand, how many cubes you get at the start of a round, how strong of an exchange tokens you can get. So you can have exchange tokens that allow you to spend to swap out one type of item with another type of item to have the currency you need to pay for a card.
Right.
You can also change rules that determine I already said that. Again,
It's all good. It's all good. What's the ultimate goal of each player? What are you trying to achieve?
You're trying to collect chips. Chips are the victory points, but of course, again, you may need to spend them in order to play down cards. And the different themes have different levels of conflict within them. So you might be willing to spend some of those chips to play down a card that would cause all of your opponents to have to discard a bunch of items, or negatively impact them in that way. There are some themes that are a lot less confrontational, so players can choose to play the level of conflict they'd like to see. So zombies and pirates are going to be far more confrontational than the fantasy theme.
Yes.
But there's still conflict in each of the different themes. Just
Zombies and pirates. That just sounds like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So was this game developed in-house at Gamebrewer?
No, the Tom Vanderweer, I am not Belgium. So I'm just going to butcher that name apparently. But he is a Dutch, and so it's kind of that area where Gamebrewer is based, which is in Belgium.
Okay.
But he is not in-house. But they have had this game and been working on the development with him and the designer for quite some time now. I've only been with the company for a year, little over, and they were working on it well before I started. Okay. So there's been quite a lot of tweaking and changing from the original concept in-house, but so I guess half and half.
Yeah.
Okay,
excellent. Now, my big question is, why is it a modular board? Like it's actually like a puzzle you have to put together. What was the decision behind making it a modular puzzle board as opposed to just a fold-up board?
Good question. There's been some changes even since we sent the prototype to the design of the board. It will still be modular.
Okay.
But the panels themselves for the themes will only have 4 of those instead of 6, and you will just change out the style of theme. We have done Fujikoro, which was a round board, and we did Paris, which was a round board.
You just like round boards.
Rulebenders, just kind of, you're sitting around a table. Everybody can kind of have a perspective of the game board. No one's really sitting upside down to a lot of the action that's happening on the table.
Yep.
And the board in this one, it's mostly the cards that you're looking at and then majority control with your cubes. So there's most of the board itself is holding those cubes as well as just indicating which themes and rules are in play.
So will the board change at all because it's modular or?
No, at this point you will have a theme chip that will be then placed into one of those 4 squares to indicate which themes you're playing with this round.
Right.
For the deluxe version, that will be instead a miniature that will sit on the board to indicate which theme is in play.
Very nice.
As well. Cool. So there may, of course, be expansions in the future if the Kickstarter goes well, in which case sometimes maybe the different pieces on the outside for the rules that can change could easily be switched out for future expansion.
Awesome.
So I'm curious, what are your favorite themes to play? You can pick 4. Which ones are your go-tos?
I am quite partial to the fantasy theme. Nice. I like conflict in a game, actually. Mm-hmm. I don't typically shy away, but with this one, it just felt like you were getting more reward for yourself and perhaps others around you in sharing of goods or items. And I always just like games that give you plenty rather than take away, or and I just like fantasy theme. I mean, it's got the illustrations on this were done by Nyada and the illustrator of Tokaido and Seasons and Big Book of Madness, and so some really wonderful fantasy characteristics in there.
Yeah, the art is really great in this game. You know, even the board, just the whole old, you know, time travel machine.
Time worn.
Very time worn machine. You know, the art is fantastic.
Yeah, the theme traveling machine.
Theme time.
Yeah, but essentially, you're traveling between those
realms. A realm traveling machine.
Yeah. The idea, I mean, ultimately, if we could just get licensing for all board games all over, we would want you to be able to travel into specific gaming worlds.
That would be awesome.
Of course, it have to be a little more generic, but I think the ultimate idea was that you're traveling to different settings in your board game world and getting to engage in, you know,
you already picked my favorite too. We still haven't sat down to play the game yet, but you've already picked my two, fantasy and sci-fi. So awesome. I'm right there with you. I
also really like the dinosaurs. It's prehistory though, so it's not just dinosaurs, but
sure.
I mean,
awesome.
Got the little ice age and
So you must have some fun stories to tell as you've been playing it yourself and play testing it. Do you have anything memorable that kind of sticks out to you as a really fun play session?
Well, like I said, I do like to. I don't shy away from being mean in games, and the poor fellow who has so kindly put this game on Tabletopia for us, and that will be available there at some point soon for people to play. But he's been translating it for us, playing with him for the first time, and of course. In the second round, I play a card that means he has to play his entire hand open-handed on the table for everyone to see what he's going to play, effectively disabling him for the entire second round of the game. He was not pleased, but I was gloriously happy too.
Wow, you're brutal.
I do like to play. It's a game.
Of course.
I can't be mean in real life. I can be mean.
You can be mean at the game table.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I don't see a problem with that.
No,
at all.
Chico would do it right back at you.
That's excellent.
I would do it first. That's the trick, is to get it done first.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
True.
So I am curious. You mentioned that there may be a seventh theme. Might you be able to tease any other potential stretch goals for us?
Yeah, so that would be one of them, and of course. The differences in the deluxe and regular, but the miniatures are definitely going to be part of that deluxe edition. Not a stretch goal, but the theme itself might be related to games and brewing, perhaps.
Oh, okay.
So, a little along that line. I don't know. We're still working on it, but hopefully.
Awesome. Awesome.
I don't know if I'm supposed to spoil anything else.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's okay. We won't get you in trouble. We'll let you off the hook with that. We are looking forward to see which ones do come when the Kickstarter hits, though.
Yeah, for sure. Now, what about post Kickstarter? Somebody stumbles across this video, but the Kickstarter's done. Where will they be able to look up Rulebenders?
Always on Gamebrewer.com, of course, our website. And usually if it's just right after the campaign, the last few that we've done, we've been able to do late pledges, just to try to grab a few extra people a bit after. But that's not always a guaranteed. So
sure.
Not knowing that in advance, I don't know. But usually definitely have it on our website for pre-order direct, as well as we are definitely trying to make inroads here in the US as far as getting our games released into retail after the Kickstarters, of course.
Okay.
And we've been working with some distribution, getting that started. So hopefully that'll still be continuing in the future. Up in Canada, I know we've had a good relationship with Lion Rampant, which does some disc reading up there in Canada. So we've
Wonderful.
actually had an easier time getting our games in Canada than the US in the past.
Well, we're
so.
just so easy to work with up here.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, the game sounds amazing. I'm looking forward to playing it. Of course, everybody listening to this, look out for our preview of it. It's coming within the next week or two, so check that out. And of course, check out Rulebenders on Kickstarter on November 16th. It sounds awesome. Can't wait to see it. Amanda, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Hi, I just wanted to say a big thank you for joining us here today and letting me talk about Rulebenders. We're very excited. It's going to be on Kickstarter on November 16th. And I also wanted to say that you should subscribe to OMG Nexus.